Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And our stink.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basquill, and I am full with foreign fluids in my head, and that's why I sound nasally.
I am John Gilardi, and I got the X Factor. Don't know what that means.
Sure does, baby.
Insinuate what you will.
Yeah, you do. You know what it means.
You know.
You know what mine means, too.
He's sick. Sick baby
I'm
boy.
sick. Sick baby boy over here, Patrick Basquill. How you doing, bud? How you doing?
Me? I mean, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just checking in. Just checking in,
Who else
opening
would
it
it be?
up, saying like, "Hey, what's up?"
I'm good. It's been a busy week, but weekend. But
Yeah.
down to rest up as much as I can during this. You know it's busy when the weekdays are when you're like, fuck, I gotta snag the
You're like, I gotta
snag the
take a nap.
the chill time now.
I'm taking a sweet nap now on this Monday.
But lots of
Monday, I'm counting it out.
Yep. Yay. Yeah. I was up and down the east coast of the country between the states of Virginia and North Carolina. So that's a lot of words to say nothing. But going up,
I love
up and
it.
down
I
to,
thought it was good.
going up to Charlottesville, going down to Wilmington, then coming back up to Raleigh all over the course of the weekend. Went up for a wedding. Went to Wilmington for a birthday party, and now I'm back in Raleigh. And then I got people coming to visit over the weekend, and then I have one day, a Tuesday, and then Wednesday I have people coming for the rest of that week, and then I have a whole weekend out doing a course thing. So fucking, actually a lot of a lot of exciting things, but I'm tired. That's weird.
John's stacked up.
I know.
John is stacked up, and I am less. I'm one step less than bedridden.
You're stacked up inside. Your mucus is stacked up.
I am stacked up inside. I'm taking this thing for a ride. I'm taking it all the way to the end. I'm watching Avatar.
Oh, so you are? So you've been watching more of it?
I've been watching some more Avatar.
It's finally happened.
We should talk. It's finally happened.
I love it.
He had to get me in person.
Yep.
Not that he had to get me in person. Anyway, what is the beginning of this? It's a lot of build up. It's a lot of build up for a really explosive ending.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tarantino-esque, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, we watched X, and we watched it together. Yeah, we did.
We did watch it together.
And so it's weird that we're talking about X now, with Pearl coming out. But we wanted to see this before we saw Pearl, and we saw this. I don't know. Here we were.
I feel like we got to see Pearl now.
Yeah, maybe we'll.
I feel like we got to see. I want to see Pearl.
Yeah, I'm down to cover
personally.
Pearl next. I'm interested. I'm in this universe. It's a weird. We'll just jump into it, but it's a weird. It's so derivative and so love lettery to slasher films, but it's just also so well seamlessly done that it doesn't exactly. I wouldn't say it feels original. It's just good.
It doesn't, but it's not supposed to feel original. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't feel original, but it feels fresh at the same time, and it feels like a love letter, so it feels nostalgic. And I think maybe the promiscuity of it, I guess, maybe is what makes it feel. I don't know, but like horror films haven't really shied away from that stuff historically, even in the older stuff. So I don't know why it feels fresh, but it does.
Yeah.
But
it does feel. It feels like. I think part of what makes it feel like a lot of the sort of the dialogue and the way that they talk is very sort of like modern as far as the like the discourse around sex and like sexuality and like people like it feels more modern than maybe it would like it feels based from the time period that it's based around and like a lot of the things that it's referencing, like sort of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho.
I think I agree. I agree because then it's contrasted by the fact that it feels old, like the types of shots, the more filmy, grainy look. The production design is great. So like all these things, I mean, obviously those things are just so good at capturing the nostalgia, but are are retold in a modern way, but also still like it does tie back to some things of the period too. Even just like the veteran statuses between the World War I and II veteran with the Vietnam veteran, and that there's a little dynamic there. Like it's still within its time period, or even just like film in or pornography at that time, how it was just kind of like a smut, I guess, just filmed.
Yeah.
Filmed unprofessionally, and like this guy's like, no, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to push it. I'm trying to film a story here.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to make it nice and all that stuff. So, that's still at that time. It's like kind of playing in that time frame, that world and the topic of porn. But yeah, I mean, it's a good blend of old and new, like filmmaking and old filmmaking references, the way it's told. I don't know. So far this year, just been hitting bangers of movies, like these kind of horror movies like this. I saw good things about Smile. I don't know. And then obviously, I'm sure
I did see good things about Smile. I was surprised, honestly. It kind of looks garbage to me.
Yeah.
It looks, and I would say this in a nice way. It looks like one of those like horror movies that like comes out every once in a while that is just essentially like The Ring or The Grudge, where it's just sort of the same movie, but they put a little bit of a new. They're like, look, you see people smile instead of you see a ring and you see these things.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested.
But
I mean, I don't know, because I like this. X is actually like the perfect type of that kind of movie for me, of the, like horror movie, because it's just truly like a kind of love letter and just reflexive thing on a cool era of filmmaking. Of some classics. It's a movie about movies and making movies too. Even when it's not about the guy making the porno with his camera, it's like it's about movie making, I guess. Even though there's not like a lot of direct lines about it, you can pick that up. And it's like even with like almost the shot references of things. Like there's I think the main guy, he's a big fan of the movie Psycho, and when he gets killed, not the main guy, but the main camera, like the main the guy that's trying to make this movie,
the camera guy, the guy who's like
the DP,
quote unquote, the director.
Yeah, when he dies, and they insert a knife raising arm shot. If you know the movie Psycho, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that stuff's just awesome. And in the slow Texas countryside, all of that stuff is just Texas Chainsaw Massacre every which way. And I feel like there's one or two more things.
I've never seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though.
Really? It's
yeah.
I think you'd like it. I think it'd be super up your alley in terms of like
I've heard it's
hitting Patrick basketball. Different things. Like I think it like was the Perfume Story of a Murder. How you like that because it hits things for you. I think
it does hit things for me.
I feel like.
You think that'll hit things for me?
Yeah, I think it'll hit certain things. Because it's just got. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but watch it.
Okay.
But
okay, yeah.
But it's the same idea. I don't think they're going out there to make a porno, but it's like 4 kids in a van go out to like a cabin in like rural Texas, and it feels like this a lot, which is fun. So,
well, and that's kind of like what this movie feels like to me, and they're sort of also like going off of. We talked about Barbarian last week. I don't know. Yeah. I'm out of order with things, but it's like that movie felt like the same movie, and then you add layers on top of it. And this feels similar the same way, where it's like, all right, we've got our sort of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type vibe. It's like essentially like, yo, I want a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type beat. And then it's like, all right, sick, I got you, dude. And then it's like, it like gives you like the same feelings and stuff like that, but then like present stuff. Oh my gosh, words are hard today. Present stuff in a new way, in a way that it's like familiar. And I feel like that's something that we've been talking about a lot recently, especially with this new sort of like era of movies where it's like we are all sort of pulling from the same place, but we like then make different comments on top of it. As far as like to make the stories that we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, which is fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's elements of that. Like, I mean, there's always been these like kind of indie horror movies, and it doesn't have to be horror. Just the first thing that came to mind, but like Jordan Peele stuff lately has felt like original retellings or original spiritual things, if that makes sense. Like it's an original feeling, but it's pulling from stuff that we've seen before or commentating on them, or like for good, for better or worse, like or in a good sense, like honoring it or calling out the bad and the reference thing he's doing or whatever. And it's really cool, and it's it's a little wave of it, like a little wave of it is happening right now, and it's cool, and I'm here for it. I would love to see it. I just think horror is such a good one to do it seriously, but there's an element of that satire there still. But it would be interesting to see other ones. I mean, action movies I feel like would be super easy to do that. I mean, actually, yeah, I take it back. Any movie any kind of form thing would be really easy to do. Maybe besides a war film. But I mean, rom-coms would be so easy to do, like a commentary, reflexive kind of take on it. So I don't know. I'll be down to seeing more things.
It's an interesting reflection of the sort of like meme culture, universal language. And also, I mean, there could 100% be, you could make a case that this is kind of what you do as an artist, and it's just become a little bit less esoteric as you like go forward. Where it's like, I just got back from Paris and like I went to the Louvre and saw all these things, and it's like, oh, I saw Picasso who did a study of, I think it was mayonnaise, like four nude bathers or something like that. And he did a study of it where he was like, oh, here's this. And like you saw his process of how he was going to sort of like take it apart and like disassemble it the way that Picasso does. And so you can make a case for that. But I think that one of the things that's interesting about how this has continued to progress is because it's so much more like, and especially in the film medium where it's so much more direct. And it's allowed to be much more direct and less like, yeah, I'm like sort of like I'm making a little wink at Michelangelo because I'm doing like the nose that he always did, but I'm putting it on like a dog in the background. And it's much more like I am recreating this shot that is recreating this shot from a John Rockefeller painting, or not John Rockefeller, but someone knows what I'm talking about.
Dennis Hopper?
It's not me right now. Maybe. Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
You don't know what that is.
But it's like, no, Dennis Hopper is an actor.
Oh, no, not that. Fuck, who's the Hopper guy? Hopper, artist.
I'm trying to.
Is it Edward Hopper?
The guy who.
yeah, it's Edward Hopper. Sorry. I'm an idiot.
Is that the guy, the lady in the field? Is that what you're talking about?
That might be one of them.
Christina reaching out.
His most famous one is Nighthawks, which they emulate in, most recently in Batman. When the Riddler exposes himself, and it's like that zoom in on a diner.
Oh yeah, there's that one. Yeah. But and again, it's like now we've got so many chains of references that things are becoming. I don't know. It's just interesting, and it's a fun place to be. I think because we have this like. And again, I go back to like sort of like talking about meme culture, where it's like we have this like universal shared language. Where we've all seen a lot of the same things growing up, and now we have a way to express, like, hey, this made me feel this way when, Adam Sandler, like, this made me feel this way when Adam Sandler was being Waterboy, and it's like, it just sort of like spins in around itself, and now we're beginning to communicate that in a weird, direct, esoteric way. Anyway, this movie was good, and it got me thinking about that when you just said those things.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. Plainly, it's like there's obviously got quite the hook, which can be either off-putting to people, I mean, or like, oh, okay, I'm interested.
Talking about the sex.
Yeah, so it's like again, we haven't really summarized it, but X is a movie about kind of 6. I think 6. I don't know. It's about a bunch of younger people.
Well,
it's not teenagers, but I mean,
we got Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi. There's the old man,
the
cowboy guy. There's the sound girl, whose name I don't remember, and then there's the camera guy, whose name I don't remember.
Yeah, so there's 6 people.
There's 6 people.
Kind of 4 of the people are kind of adult entertainers of some sort. Like one of them's running the show. There's presumably 2 strippers. I'm not sure what Kid Cudi's character is in that line of work, but and he's the male talent in the movie. that they're making. And then they have a sound guy and a camera girl, and then a guy that's kind of like the owner of the strip club and like kind of the financier, if you will.
Sound girl and camera guy. Excuse you.
What did I say?
You said camera girl and sound guy.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And yeah. So, anyways, it's like this group of people. 4 of them know each other. The other 2 know each other, and now they're collaborating to make a porno essentially. And they're kind of they're trying to push the envelope. In their own way. The kind of financier guy is like, I want to make a fuckload of money. I know that this is the future. I think we can work with this guy who has a vision, and I think that extra bit is going to make such a big deal. And then both the girls, like, they want to be stars. They're super like on top of their sexuality and like are just owning it. I don't know, like all the characters besides, I mean, the cameraman and the camera girl are like super. They know who they are. They know what they're about. And they have aspirations, and they're just trying to figure it out. Anyway, so they go to, like, it's still taboo. It's still Texas. So they go to, like, they try to find a faraway kind of cabin in the woods to make the movie. And, of course, the landlord who rented out the cabin has some baggage and viewpoints and set in his old ways, and so is his wife. And
But here's the but.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's not the way that you think.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing that I think is interesting, where it's like, you know that there's some sort of shenanigans. And I wish that I had seen this movie when it first came out, and I didn't have, like, the sort of twists, like, sort of spoiled for me. But it was, like, a cool, fun twist on
Monster.
Not on like where the twist was coming from, where the tension was coming from. And it was like, it's not because like he's like so devious and Christian. It's because he doesn't want his wife to get riled up again.
Yeah. And like she thinks he's just an old man. He's lived through 2 wars. I don't know. They're on their last legs, and he can't get too excited. But his wife is really promiscuous and like repressed, and I guess that's kind of the element there. But then ultimately they do it, and he's fine. And then even the way he dies is like a fun kind of not what you were expecting, I guess, thing. So
yeah,
I mean it's like it's in layers. I guess the it's like the subtle subversion, I guess. Like the subverting is getting good, and it's been good at points, and it's like it's not a new thing conceptually, but there was, I feel like, a trend of like with Game of Thrones and all these different things, like, oh yeah, we got to fucking subvert, let's do it, you know. And this is just a good version of that, because it's echoing cinema and tropes, you know. Whereas in The Last Jedi, which I still will defend, it's truly just subversion for the sake of subversion, and not backed up in any like hardcore reason. It's like you have what's his name? The director of 1 and 3, or 7 and 9. The robot, bad robot.
Sapocek?
No, the
What are you
bad
talking
robot of Star Wars.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, you have J.J. Abrams, who's super good at setting up the mystery box, but like when you realize that he can't finish it, you realize how hollow that is. And then when Ryan Johnson is like does these cool subversions, but then it's hollow when you realize it's just motivated in that in itself of mixing up the status quo.
Well, again, I think that was not to go back to that, but I think that was made hollow because J.J. Coward Abrams
it's definitely
decided to like those could have been, and I think that was and I'm laughing because we're going back to it, but I think that was like a flaw in their system and their plan, where Ryan Johnson thinks he's given Colin Trevorrow fun things to work with, you know, and then like he thinks he's given him gifts. Again, I've talked about this in numerous times about like improv, and that's what like one of the things that's interesting to me about X and a lot of the movies that I've liked in the past. I don't want to say since we've been doing the podcast for sure, is like these like the movies that I've liked have said yes to themselves and gone A to C on the ideas, where it's like it is sort of a game, and especially because and you see that they're the ones that are successful, like for X or for Barbarian or for Parasite, where it's like, or for Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it's like, all right, yes, here's the formula that we need to hit to make a movie successful.
Yeah.
We have to six strangers, six friends going out into the woods to do what? For a family reunion? No. For a camp? No, we can't do that. To make a porno? Okay, that's new. Let's do that. And there's an unseen force that's against him. It's zombies. No. It's an old man in the woods. Yes. But his motivations are that he's religious. No. That he is... And then it's just like you just sort of like combine and slowly begin to compile this idea of things that make things much more interesting but that are still on the same track. So then you're like talking to the audience like, I know you've seen this. I know you know, because it's so hard now at this point to come up with new chords for a song.
Yeah.
And I'm going all over the place here with metaphors.
No.
But it's so
Well said.
hard to come up with new chords for a song. And so it's like, I'm going to play these chords in a new way for you because you know where this is going, but I'm going to give it to you different. And that's that. I think that's what makes it interesting, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
To be an audience member for a movie like this, whereas
And it's in layers too. It's your face value movie consumer, and then also maybe, and like at the level of someone who has an idea or two of movie making in the process, or a fan of cinema. Like I think there's 3 layers: like face value consumer of movies. There's the cinephile, the lover of cinema, and then there's the maker of movies. And like it's one of the rare things where it's so unique, but it's also hitting everyone.
yeah.
Like it's hitting hitting 3 different movie types. It's like the one where maybe the Metacritic and the fan score, would be the same. Like it's hitting many layers very well. Sorry, that was just a thought.
Yeah. No, dude, that was good. That's a good thought. And it's layered in storytelling. It's hitting all those different layers, and it just works, and it's a lot of fun to watch and be a part of. Whereas with fucking from Force Awakens to Last Jedi, and then to Rise of Skywalker, everybody knows what's going to happen, except when we get to... And then, again, that's why everything is thrown in a loop, because it's like, oh, we set up Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi is like, oh, shit, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe to, like, an extreme point that, again, you get to the third act of any sort of thing that pulls all the threads together, then it's like, oh, shit. But instead of that, motherfucker just punted, he cut, he edited, and started his own all brand new scene.
Yeah.
Because he's a coward. Because he wasn't ready to pull the whatever. Whatever, dude.
Hey, we always got to call it back to the sequel trilogies.
Ugh. So disappointing. Which is what I think is so interesting about what they possibly could be doing with House of the Dragon. We need to talk about that.
Yeah. In 4 to
25 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, I also, again, maybe a trend that I'm noticing on movies that we really do like is that it's an hour and a half, but it lives in itself. Yeah. Like the shots, they live in the shots. And so yeah, it's still fast, but it lives in the shot. So it's like the pacing is a meshing of fast and slow. We're living on these establishing shots or shots that depend on the length of themselves and the kind of long, drawn out look at them. Just a performance, instead of editing, telling the story, which is fine, obviously very valid way. But like it's a good value of that, and there's a lot of wide shots too that just rely on a lot of blocking and good dialogue. And it's just
performance,
like
you
of
said.
Course, yeah, and again, but then it's an hour and a half, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it drags, but it doesn't like you don't. The length of it is only something you think about when you think about how that was nice. Like it just moved.
Yeah.
Because in real time it was shorter, but it also felt like it was as long as it needed to be, which I think was
like we got the information that we needed from the shots that we were given.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I think we're trending back towards, which is a benefit for me I think, of the sort of like TikTok or whatever generation, where it's like things got to move fast and things got to be interesting to hold interest. So it's like, tell me the story visually in this shot. And I think that we get so much of that, especially in this movie.
Yeah.
Where we're able to pick up so much from the shots that are selected, the shots that are shown, and we are able to get so much of a feeling from the shots that we use.
Yep. Well said.
Fucking love it, dude.
It's movie making. That's like, I think that's the love letter to movie makers or fans of cinema too. Is like it does everything so tight and so well.
The next thing that we need, man, is we need 90s action movies to come back with modern technology. Because that's the thing. That's the thing that's missing. Is like we've got horror movies.
80s
that
80s
live.
and 90s, I think.
80s and 90s. Yeah. No. Listen, I'm not. We've got horror movies. Horror movies are going back. They're like, hey, this has always been a little bit cheaper to make. This has been cheaper to make, and it's been like, it's bread and butter. Fucking practical effect. Horror movies, isolated, interesting ideas, interesting plays on classical themes. For forever, we've always been able to do this. And it's like, let's go back. Let's go back to this. Let's get smaller. Let's get weirder. Let's get more fun. And I think that that's a trend that we're going with, any of the A24, satanic, weird, performance-driven, high production value, horror movies. I fucking love them. We're in a golden age of weird fucking horror shit, I think. And that is similar to how it was in the mid 80s. And then you get real fucking sheeny with it with Jason X and any of those things where we've got 15 million different things that then Scream makes fun of, and then Scream becomes it. Mm-hmm. Scream becomes what it was beginning to make fun of, which is also sort of funny in itself, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for the comeback of Hudson Hawk Die Hard, but a small action movie.
Yeah. I think
a small practical effect action movie.
It's not that, but I think The Expendables could be an interesting one for us to do and see why it doesn't work, or maybe it does. I don't know, but it's more moving on the nostalgia of the actors and the stars than the concept of an action movie. But I don't know. I feel like we should do that one. It could be interesting.
Okay, yeah. Probably after the Halloween season, because I feel like we got to get a couple more.
Oh yeah, no
sweet old scary movies.
No, we got to get Pearl and another few, maybe two more. But yeah, what is?
But I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that, dude.
For what?
For practical effects action, small level action movies.
I think
let the big franchises take their thing.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Baby Driver?
Baby Driver was great.
I mean,
minus Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Even that and Drive, I don't know. They felt small.
Drive was good. I recently watched Drive on the plane again, and I was like, damn, yeah, there was a reason this movie spawned a generation and allowed this director to make at least 3 more movies that were subpar.
Yeah. Well, really? Was that that director? Who was that?
Nicholas Winding Refn.
So that
Refn?
kind of launched a career, but he didn't really do much with it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna look at it now. Yeah, he was born in Copenhagen. He did Drive. Hold on. Let me look at his director. I mean, he's got a career. He's not not doing bad. He's got a career. He did Pusher. He's done some movies. He did Bronson. He did Valhalla Rising. He did Drive, that really put him on the map. Then he did Only God Forgives with Ryan Gosling again. That was people were like, hell yeah, this looks like Drive 2.0. But then it was too bloody, too gory. Ryan Gosling, Jesus, my brain, said too few words. I think there was a bunch of articles at the time that were okay, yeah,
Let's stop.
That's not the formula.
Let's stop with that.
Not the formula.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah, let's stop with that.
And then they did Neon Demon, which was, again, another sort of like neon fever dream type thing that was like really stylistic, which I did see. But those didn't sort of like he did Drive and then attempted to sort of like recreate the feeling of Drive 2 more times. And then everyone was like, actually, let's take a break from you. You know, which is kind of an interesting.
But then you get a redemption story, and then it'll just start the cycle.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe he'll three
so.
renaissances. This guy.
I hope so, because he had a pretty good career before that. He did a movie called Pusher that looked really fun that he did 2 sequels of, Pusher 2, Pusher 3, and then he did Bronson with Tom Hardy, which was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And then Valhalla Rising, which I haven't seen.
I feel like Bronson might be the most iconic, but.
You think Bronson is more iconic than Drive? Drive is iconic.
But I think I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Like when you hear, it's like Drive is the obvious one. They're like, oh, he did Bronson too, and then that's like the sinker, I guess. Like, okay, cool. I don't know what that is, but that's the emotion I had.
I hear you.
Because I just had that. I guess.
You're like, oh shit, he did Bronson too. Fuck yeah, dude. No, I mean that's what I feel. I don't know. I liked it. I liked to Drive a lot, and I was like, damn, yeah, this is an iconic movie. Which is like, hey, if I can make one iconic movie, one really good movie, and then like, I don't know, I would take that dude's career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fine.
I would 100% take that dude's career because you know what? He's probably not hurting, and he could probably do some stage stuff, and like. Direct some commercials. It looked like he directed a couple of fashion commercials, and maybe that was like his gig before things because his shit looks good.
Yeah. Back to X.
What does T West do? Sorry. Keep talking. You talk.
Well,
I'm gonna look.
I was gonna ask, what's
T
your
West
what do you like from this?
From X?
Yeah. Or sorry. Well,
Man.
I mean, I guess. Start with your favorite, but I think I want to get more on anything you would change or anything like that.
Oh, shit. Anything I would change.
But let's talk about the positives first. I think we've talked a lot about just how it feels. The pacing's great. Performances are great. Story is great.
Yeah.
The things it's saying are great. The subversion of expectations is great. The feel of it, the production design, the gore, the action, if you will, the rising and falling action, all these different things are all great. So I don't know what else there is. I guess favorite moments. I don't know. I think
favorite moments.
I think I like the character establishment, in the van. It's like so intimate and close, and like they're all packed into this van. They're all going, and it just sets the movie up really well. I like that a lot. And then I liked the kind of halt of the momentum in a good way of the scene when they're eating sandwiches after shooting for the day. When the sound girl, who's the girlfriend of the camera guy, says, I want to be in a scene. Because they're just talking about when it's in front of the camera, it doesn't matter. Like it's like that's my boyfriend. And the other one's like, yeah, he's my girlfriend or whatever.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes
I loved a lot of the parallels that they had there where. Yeah, But
the scene was great because the anxiety of the boyfriend not wanting that after like laughing with them and like enabling this.
Yeah, you're
art.
such a prude. When you turn like again? There's so many different like times where they did parallel lines or parallel lines of dialogue, especially within that sort of like sub story.
Yeah.
Like where, he early was like. When did you become such a prude? And she's like, I'm not. There's a lot of fun parallels. Yeah, there's a lot of fun parallels in that sub-story. And I just love his reaction. Is so, like...
Well, it's like...
Is so...
He's being a douche about it, but it's also a very real human normal reaction, too. Because it's like... They're essentially professionals, I mean, so it's like they have a different... maybe it's not a universal experience that like everyone can relate to, but it's being made to be that in that moment, and that girl is trying to figure out what is what, and they're giving their viewpoint on sex and relationships and the professionalism of making a film or dancing or whatever it is to a girl who is not in that world, and so it's a weird clashing of that, and then
but then there's the like moral high grounding that he has. He's like was like she's a nice girl.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like what is, and then the owner of the thing, it's like, well, fucking the other two are nice girls too. What are you fucking saying? And it's like it's a beautiful little encapsulation. Again, I think that's one of the reasons why, I mean, this is what I'm saying, why the parallels are so interesting there, especially for that sub-story, where it's like his viewpoint on it is so clear until he becomes
personal.
Personally involved in it.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, which again parallels so many other different sort of arguments against various things, where people are like, well, I mean, you could go all over the place, where people will give lip service to any sort of thing until it personally affects their life, and then when they have that emotional response where it feels weird and they don't know how to deal with it, it's like, well, fucking don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And communicate. I mean, it's just about communication, baby.
Yeah, because I think because in that situation, the way he handles it, like, no, you're not doing that. Like, he's taking control of the situation. He's just kind of, whatever. It's very knee-jerk, very panicky. But it pushes her to do it more. And in that moment, there's a moment where there's a moment where he can handle it a certain way, and he gets what he wants, and she figures out whatever, But his knee-jerk reaction and his kind of trying to take control of the situation just isn't the right way to do it. So there's even I also took there's a way to have this conversation, and it's fair that you wouldn't want this, but you're not doing it well. You're not handling it right. You're being a douche on two different layers, to her and to the performers, and so, just really interesting scene, I guess. I don't know. And then
it is really interesting.
And it's an interesting conversation because it is something, I don't know, there's one of the, Jake or Logan Paul's friends dated Lana Rhoades. And it's that weird element, I couldn't do that, It's just and it's just an interesting conversation. And it just shows the different ways people can view that relationship of sex or a relationship with someone. And I don't know. It's a whole interesting topic, and it's the most you'd see about in a movie commented on it. Because there is Boogie Nights, but it doesn't, as movies I've seen before about porn. But that doesn't have a bit on it. I mean, there's the John, what's his name? William H. Macy.
Yeah.
There's a part with his character and his wife, but he's been in the industry for a while, and she's been a star for a while, and whatever made him snap, I don't know. Maybe it was a buildup of but it wasn't that. I don't think it was. I think he understood what it was, and he was in that world.
Well, I think it was cheating outside of the relationship.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, because it wasn't a camera rolling.
Was,
yeah, there wasn't a. She was just doing a dude at a party, but
yeah,
I think there's a lot of good human drama there, and a thing that exists in the real world. And it touches on it there, and it's just I don't know. I mean, I know where I stand. I don't need it to be explored through film or stories, but it is interesting, I guess. Interesting.
It is
drama.
interesting to see, though.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that play out with such strong characters that you sort of and I think that was one of the things too, again, with the sort of subversion of expectations, where it's I expected to hate Tex or whatever his name was actually, but he just felt like
the leader guy.
The leader guy.
Yeah.
Whereas I expected to be I'm not about this dude, but
his exploitation of people, and you think he'd be the exploitive leader guy, but he does have a touch of opportunisticness and trying to, I don't know, but he's not
but he's also really supportive.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Like, like it's kind of like Snake Oil. Like he's like, hey, this is the thing that's going to bring us up. You're a star, and it could be just empty, like hot air, but we're not seeing anything to make us actually believe that. But you can insinuate that because he's kind of like that salesman, that kind of wisecracking Texan guy, with his hands in his pocket, like his thumbs hanging in his pocket, and he's like with his boots, that image. And I don't know. It's a good. It's all good characters. It's all even the one that you're like, fuck this guy, he's fine. And even the old people, like they're interesting. Like like they get characterization, and you see them a lot. Yet it doesn't. There's no need for a Jaws effect, And
well, and I think that's one of the things too. Is one of my favorite elements in this movie is the sort of reverse Jaws, where we see so much of the monsters that they become real, that they become like not necessarily like I never am like on their side, but like there is an element of sort of understanding.
Yeah.
Where you, again, not understanding of motivations, but it's just like, oh, I understand this character. This is what's going to happen. Yeah. You just get to live with the monsters a little bit, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And there was a couple, again, there were so many interesting things with parallels in this movie where they did a couple like split screen things.
Wipes.
That were very
fun.
Yeah,
and the flashing of like.
Yeah.
Like there was a scene where I think there's a scene where they're at the convenience store, and when they're transitioning out of the scene, they'll flash the car accident with the cows, then flash back to the convenience store cows, and then there's when they're filming the first sex scene, there's that, and then the high overhead shot of Mia Goth, and then back and forth on that, and there might be a few more, but like it's. I don't know. I would need to study it more to know what it's actually saying or doing, but it's also just cool. I don't know. It's like something's happening. I don't know yet what it is. Give me some time. Maybe I'll figure it out. But either way, it's cool. In terms of like the editing,
I liked it. I liked
all that.
Yeah, I liked the way that they paced this. I liked a lot about this movie. I mean, I think I'm still gonna. I think you asked me in person when we watched this movie. You were like, all right, where's this movie more? Where's this movie versus Barbarian, which we also just saw?
Yeah.
And I think I ranked Barbarian above this movie, but I do think that this movie is very good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
I really like this movie, and I can see again. It's like I wish I had seen this movie when it came out, so that I could get that like fresh, because it feels like a very fresh movie.
Yeah.
Even in its sort of like familiar palette that we have, but yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. It was a pleasure to see. I liked the alligator thing. I liked the old man with his various. Again, I just love the idea that he's just like, God, these dang kids are getting my wife riled up again, and I can't fulfill my wife, and oh man, makes me mad enough to murder.
Yeah, and he's like,
but then
not fully bloodlusty. He's kind of like, got to clean up her mess, which means tying up loose ends, kind of thing. So
yeah, which is my favorite type of like murder, I guess. Not really
loose ends,
but it's just
tying
like
up loose ends.
Yeah, where he's just like, oh man, I take very little pleasure in this.
Yeah,
basically.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I take some like, I just got to do this, and it was just interesting.
It ain't personal.
Yeah.
Though I think you didn't.
Except for the one with Kid Cudi. The one with Kid Cudi felt personal.
Yeah.
Because he was maybe racist.
Yeah. And it was maybe like, I won my wars.
Don't try to relate to me.
Yeah, like I won my wars, you lost yours, or something too. Even that, aside from race, like there's probably just many layers of that, like on top of the race stuff.
Yeah.
But so do you have anything negatives or change? Again, I'm gonna spoil my ranking, but I gave it a 3.5. But I don't feel like I changed anything. It's fine. I like it.
I'll probably
Because I remember you said you didn't like the
probably
wide
give it a
shots.
4.
Or I remember maybe it could have been someone else, but someone
Did I say that? That
Didn't
doesn't
like-
sound like something I would say.
you were like, that's too wide, and you said it maybe one more time, like the shot where she's in the water. So that's too wide. The people I was with, the people we were with watching that movie wouldn't have said that. So I might have been making it up, or you did say it. But hey, I guess you didn't feel strong about it. So 4 stars, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it 4 sexy porno scenes.
Yeah, they only filmed 3. You know, there's the mysterious
filmed 3.
4th one.
Mysterious 4th one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm giving it.
Anything else you want to cover on this one?
I don't know what I would change. I'm excited to see Pearl.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say.
Yeah, we'll report back at some point. Maybe not next. Could be
Yeah.
the next one. Could be the other one after that. But, yeah, just like it's a weird cinematic universe. That I mean,
Well,
I think
and I
they're
think
locked in for
let's-
3 films, and it's like cool. Fuck yeah! I didn't. This isn't something I
Well-
expected. You know, and I'm here for it.
But this movie, again, let's talk about. Like, I think we can talk about this from the business side of it, real fast. Is I think that they shot Pearl almost back to back with X.
Yeah.
So we've got X, Pearl, and Maxine, and I think they're shooting or they're in pre-production for Maxine right now, which is like kind of crazy that they had so much faith in this, or it was just so low cost. Because I looked at the budget earlier before my machine was like, brah. It was only $1 million for this movie. And then Pearl is also $1 million. So there must have been some sort of like
I'm sure they're like someone's
Deal.
gonna buy this if it doesn't.
there was
you know.
some sort of thing where they probably packaged it. They probably shot it real cheap and hot and sexy. And they just like moved like it just business wise it's crazy. They shot it real hot and fast. They shot
Yeah.
it real hot and fast. Again, just the business of them already having a sequel out within the same year is crazy and also incredibly fucking smart. Where it's like if they wait, again, we talked earlier about like the TikTok generation or whatever moving through things real fast, and it's like if you wait for this shit to cool down, what's the point?
Yeah, and there's a lot
You know?
more patience for a 3rd film than between 1 and 2.
There's a lot more patience if we've already been like satisfied. Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, hell yeah, this isn't 1977 anymore, but we can wait 4 years for fucking Empire Strikes Back. You know, we ain't waiting for that shit.
No.
Give it to us now.
Yeah.
And they did. And it's so smart. And it's crazy that they did that.
Yeah.
So I can't believe that they did it. I think it's awesome. I think it's akin to Beyonce dropping an album out of nowhere, where is brilliant, but it won't be able to be recreated in the same way. Probably not as good as Beyonce dropping an album out of nowhere, because it's like nobody else has the clout to be able to do that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think Drake tried to do that, but it wasn't a good enough
I think
album.
U2 did. Or so there's something like where you had to install it on Apple.
Well, U2, yeah, they installed it on your phone and everybody skips it. It doesn't exist.
Such
like,
a
nobody-
bad fucking tactic.
Like, it's like, here, I'm going to make sure you have my shit. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Get out of town.
Get out of here. I don't want that. Not a U2 album. No way. Not me.
Like, I don't know. They had the fucking that commercial with Vertigo that was huge for them, like Apple and U2. But it was also like,
Yeah.
I don't think there was something here to build off of. Like, what is this?
Yeah. It's like we don't conflate your two brands together.
Yeah. You're nuts.
You
It is
punks.
it was a very weird move for a company that was like hitting so well on marketing for that period
Yeah.
of time. It was a little blemish for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's X, and Looking
That's
forward to
X.
it.
Go see it.
Yeah, go see it.
Looking forward to Pearl.
Yeah.
Pearl.
Coral.
Mr.
Coral?
Mr. Pearl. Mr. Krabs' daughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Adopted or biological? What do we think?
I don't know the rules of that world, but maybe.
This sounds
That's
that
my
sounds
answer.
like
Maybe.
it sounded like it sounded like one of those Sunday conversations. Adopted or biological?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
That'd be a good little parody
I
kind
love
of
that
thing to
dude.
throw together.
I love the way that dude does it. So what have you been watching, my sweet friend?
Not much. I watched Rush Hour recently.
Oh,
It's pretty fun. Ages well and not well at the same time.
okay.
But it's always fun to watch Jackie Chan. So,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I guess again for what it's worth. And then I haven't been watching much. I mean, keeping up with Game of Thrones and not keeping up with Lord of the Rings. I need to do that. Started Avatar with you and Christian.
Hell yeah.
So I need to also phase that into my watching schedule because I would like to keep pace with you so we can talk about it. And then Ted Lasso on the side as well. So, yeah.
Dang. It sounds like you're like, oh, not much, just a lot.
Yeah.
I have not. Have you watched? You've watched the what's it fucking called? Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. You watched it?
I've seen
You watched any of it?
4 episodes.
I haven't seen a single episode.
Oh man, it's
Yeah.
It doesn't blow you away. My review for through 4 episodes, and I think there's 5 or 6 out now, is that it's a lot more dope high fantasy shit, but it's the hook.
Okay.
The hook isn't there, and like I think Game of Thrones
yeah.
was so good because of the incest twist at the end, and then the kid seeing it and getting killed, or was he killed?
Yeah.
Like it's like there's nothing there in 4 episodes yet to like, fuck, what is that? But it still looks good. It doesn't look like a TV show. Like it looks like high budget film, every episode, despite that it's I don't know, but it has TV show pacing, so that also knocks against it.
Yeah.
I think it has an identity crisis and a tonal crisis too. There's an episode where one guy's fighting, and I'm like, oh, there's blood. That's kind of gory. I don't know. There's like beheading and some stuff in Lord of the Rings, the movies, but it surprised me, I guess, and I think that says something. I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's also like it hasn't established its tone yet, and I don't know if it's relying on the original films or what, but it also feels different enough from them, so it's like, are you leaning into that because it doesn't feel like you are, and it's like, I don't know what you are also. So that's my short of it, but we can talk about it because it's pretty polar. I don't know if I'd say it's polarizing, but
We could talk about it. I mean, again, I was just sort of like, I haven't seen it yet.
yeah.
So it's like, I can't talk about it. But I would eventually, because I will watch it.
Yeah.
And I think that I've heard a lot about it and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I will watch this because I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Just like I'm going to watch She-Hulk. I'm going to watch Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Got to get to that
I
eventually.
just haven't.
Because there's a
I
lot.
just haven't.
There's a lot of shit.
There's just a lot. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that's out to watch, and I don't want to watch all of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably watch all those Marvel things before the next Marvel movie comes out. Like once they.
Yeah, like you gotta prime yourself just in case there's 5 cross references of shit.
Yeah, which is like.
It's like
exactly
doing
what we were
homework.
afraid of with Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't there like all these things about it's like, oh, go to the next, you have to cram for the next Marvel movie.
Yeah. It's
that's,
truly
like,
studying
true.
now. So goofy.
But yeah, I've been staying up on watching some baseball. Now it's finally like the point of the year where baseball's interesting. Because it's playoffs and like we've gone through the 6 years of fucking playoff like regular season games that it feels like.
Yeah.
That's like, and again, baseball is such a slow sport that it's like, feels like
It's a lot of time to build up to something.
just a lot of time to build up to when it finally matters.
Yeah.
But they have done a good job, I will say, of making the stakes in this last part of the season really matter. which is good.
It's like a TV show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the finale really works, but you do have to slog through those first 165 episodes.
Exactly. Yeah, 3 to 5 hour episode too.
Yeah. But and then also stayed up on House of the Dragon.
Yep.
House of the Dragon's got me. I keep. I'm staying. It's winning me over. It's winning me over a little bit.
I think it's taking the pacing that season 6 and 7 brought in, and like finding because those are when the source material fell off, but they moved very well for a mainstream audience.
Yeah.
The book apologists didn't like it, but I don't know. I liked it, and I would have been fine with season 8 if the story didn't fucking blow monkey chunks. But the pacing was ultimately okay with me, particularly in season 6 and 7 again. So again, it feels like they figured that pacing out, and now they're doing good storytelling, I guess. For House of the Dragon. Yeah, enjoying it. So you're enjoying Avatar? How far are you? I guess
I am. I think I'm 10 or 11 episodes in.
Nice. Yeah, it's truly a fun time.
I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and look and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I think it's good. I'm
pumped.
I'm beginning to put the pieces together.
Good.
Woo!
Excellent. Yeah. What's next? Reviews.
I think
we normally do reviews.
Oh yeah.
We do reviews.
We do reviews.
I'll do a few.
Well, clearly I can't access it because it'll blow up my computer.
Hopefully we've been able to cut around it, but Patrick's dropped three to 4 times.
3 times.
So hopefully it's been
3
masterfully edited out. But anyways,
I believe it.
It's been a 94 on the critics. Give it a 94.
Okay.
And the audience gives it a 75. Honestly, a little low, but that's fine. Whatever. Let's see. Whoa. All right. Len, 3.5 stars. Entertaining and one of the funniest movies of the year. A24 is the best studio in Hollywood.
Okay.
Oh, we got a badass here.
We're
We
not-
got E. 1 star. Was terrible. Did not get scared one time.
I didn't get scared
This is
one time.
This is interesting. Fernando, a half star. Sorry. Not what I expected at all. I would like a refund. What are you expecting?
Oh. I'm sorry. Also, how many times? I guess it's like, because that's an interesting review for me, because it's like, this is not what I was expecting. Because it's like there's only 2 ways you can go. This is not what I expecting. I hated it.
Yeah.
Or this is not what I expecting. I loved it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We got the Tony Toka. 4 stars. Slightly slow burn. Texas Chainsaw vibes and lots of TNA. Amy L. It was just okay. Very slow. Not so much anything unexpected. Wait to see it at home. And
Okay.
All right, we'll leave on this one. It seems like a positive review. Has not been
All right.
has been verified as a good review. Left the theater a few hours ago and can't stop thinking of this movie. It was absolutely nuts in a good way. I'm a horror movie addict, but not really into slasher movies. However, this was so much more than that. The characters, while not the most likable, were absorbing and all necessary to the story. I don't know what absorbing means. Loaded with tension, doesn't let up for a minute. Crazy ride. There you go, Andrea.
Hell yeah. All right. Yeah. Crazy ride. I agree. It was a crazy ride. It's a good
Oh,
ride.
here's a good one.
I like that
Actually,
ride.
sorry, I read ahead.
Oh.
This is from Kim, a half star. The movie was a completely different movie from what we thought. I didn't even stay for the movie. I left a little after it started. It was like a porn movie, but the previews showed that it was like a horror movie. I was expecting to watch a horror movie. Kim, maybe stay for the fucking movie then. Idiot.
Stay for the movie.
That's the most
Why would you
aggro I will
leave?
get on a review. That is categorically a review that just exemplifies dumb.
Have you
What?
Have you not seen a movie, friend? Excuse me. Excuse me. Have you not seen a movie, friend? What are you talking about?
You can't leave the movie during the porn stuff and expect that to be the movie. Like it's set.
That's not the end.
It's a
I mean,
fucking setup.
now that is your experience of the movie because you left, but the rest of us saw where it became a horror movie. It was always a horror movie. It was all tension. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
That
Go-
might be one of the worst reviews I've ever read.
Get out of here. You can't listen. I walked out of Grown Ups 2 or 1. I walked out of one of the Grown Ups movies. I walked out of Grown Ups because I stayed for half of it and I saw where it was going and I had better things to do with my day and life and evening. But I stayed for enough to see what that movie was, and I left after that. I didn't. I knew what that movie was, and you could make an argument that I didn't because I left out. I left.
You just can't leave during the rising action and then bitch
You
about the falling action not happening because you left.
You can't. Yeah, because you left. It's like I know at the end of Grown Ups, he is going to resolve his marital issues. His friends are they're going to do some wild things. Someone's going to do a fart joke. Someone's going to do a poop joke. It's going to take a little bit too long for me to develop to see these old men do their things and figure out their marital issues and reconnect with the children that they were. And you know what? That's good for them and their paychecks, but it wasn't good for me and my time. I'm not going to go into a movie. What the fuck? No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. You have to finish. No, you're not allowed. I have seen. Come on.
Yeah, not a good one.
Not about that. I'm not about that. Whatever your name was.
Yeah, Kim. It's Kim Kardashian's burner account.
Kim Kardashians. You got to finish movies. You don't have to finish marriages. I understand that. You get a sense of a person. But you got to finish movies.
Kim Kardashian's, plural, you got to finish movies. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We hope you had a good time, I guess, listening to this episode. Yeah. Rate and review.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We still got shirts. Buy those shirts. They're going to be gone once they're gone.
Yeah.
There's no rush because no one's fucking buying them. But they're there, $10.
Oh, no one loves us.
But it doesn't matter. Don't buy them. Don't buy them if they're not your thing. But anyways, love you guys.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening.
Love you. And you know what? As they say in Texas, finish the movie. Just finish it.
Please.
It's only an hour and 43 minutes long, or maybe an hour and 35.
It's an hour 26.
Depending on how long, how you measure the credits and like stuff.
Yeah. Come on.
Just finish it.
Come on.
That's what they say in Texas all the time.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Finish the movie.